Welcome to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you burn fat, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey guys, it's Debbie, and I just wanted to give you a quick little message from one of our sponsors, Element. It's spelled LMNT, but pronounced Element. If you haven't heard about this, Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing you don't. That means there's a lot of salt with no sugar, and it's formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs and is perfectly suited for those doing a keto, low carb, or paleo diet. And I think this is great for athletes, especially in the summertime and when you're training in warmer climates. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. None of the junk, no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, no fillers. That's it. I like the unsweetened one because the other flavors do have a little stevia, but stevia doesn't do well in my body. So I prefer the unsweetened Element, and I like the packets because I can throw them in my bike bag when I go on a long bike ride or when traveling, and I can just dump a packet in my water, and it keeps me so much more hydrated. Because remember, we don't sweat out water, we sweat out minerals. So check it out. You've got a nice little gift from them if you use our discount code Drink Element. I'll put the link in the show notes. But using the code Low Carb Athlete, you get a free gift with purchase. You get a free Element sample pack with any order when you order with Low Carb Athlete on our special URL code. So support the podcast, support Element. It's backed by science, and we love what they're doing. So try it out.
Hey, it's Debbie, and I wanted to go over a little bit more on nutrient timing for the busy, high-charging athlete. As we are working full-time, doing everything we can to optimize our health and exercising probably more than once a day, and optimizing our sleep and getting that morning sunshine and getting our walking in throughout the day, moving after we eat. We're trying to do all these right things, but sometimes it can be a little bit too much. And how do you know when is the right time to take something off your list instead of adding something else to your to-do list? Less is more is my new mantra, and more is not always better. So let's go into how you can optimize your health, your longevity, your performance, and of course, we all want to lose a little fat, gain some muscle. What can we do to boost that? Let's go over this updated article from Pinoy on how you can figure out your nutrition, your fueling for exercise, and your training methods. We want to test and not guess what is best for you, your unique body, your unique stress you have in your life, in your gut, in your body, your inflammation. And we all have different sleep hygiene routines and morning starts to the day and our job and our family. So we want to individualize everything and not do this one size fits all approach. Maybe have a template to start with, but knowing when to course correct, adjust. And for those premenopausal females, that can be changing every week. So really looking at women are not the same as men. Women that are premenstrual are going to be different than postmenopausal, or premenopausal are different than postmenopausal. So there's a lot to it. So let's go into some new information. So I'm putting all of these articles that I review into my blog page. So if you want to read about these articles instead of listen to me talk about them, feel free to head to debbiepotts.net. Under the blog link, you'll see meal timing for busy high performers. People like you and the old me, the new me, is a little more chill. I just saw actually someone I haven't seen for a couple years pre-COVID, and before I moved to San Diego, North San Diego, I have changed. I'm much more chill and laid back, and I know a lot of you could probably have some of my chill personality because I never was like this before. So it's good to have a little high performing personalities, but also know how to slow down and enjoy the outdoors and smell the roses. So meal timing, why timing matters, meal timing benefits. We talked a little bit on the previous episode what the research says on meal timing. Of course, it's very difficult to do on people. If you read Satchin Panda's book on a lot of the research is done on fruit flies, amazingly. And that's actually just above here in Solana, or not Solana, but not Torrey Pines. Where is that? Salk Institute is on my running route. Where? La Jolla. That's where it is. Somewhere around above La Jolla towards Torrey Pines. I run by it. So weight loss, appetite control, lots to go into blood sugar regulation, energy for cardio and endurance exercise. That is the big discussion. And then we talk about muscle strength, size, and recovery, and the common questions on meal timing. What does circadian rhythm play in meal timing? Should I eat every 3 to 4 hours? Should I eat right before a workout? Should I eat right before bed? What is the answer? Usually depends. I say, well, 5+ years ago, I started getting into more extended fasting. And I started to get into OMAD because I was doing low carb, you're fat adapted, eating fat. Now I'm focusing more protein with fat. But I think what I keep trying to get across to you is that more is not better, less is more, but really looking at the timing of everything. And if we want to get those protein intake, those protein goals, we got to get the intake throughout the day. So eating every 3 to 4 hours versus doing OMAD and 1 to 2 meals a day, I was only getting protein probably from one meal. So no way I'm going to hit 130 grams a day or more. So what we know now that we didn't really talk about 5 years ago, of course, because we go to one end of the spectrum to the other, eat fat. Eat fat. Let's eat protein. No carbs. Let's have a little bit of both. Let's have that even balance. It's all over the place, right? It gets annoying. But it all comes down to eat nature's food. Eat nutrient-dense whole foods that balance your blood sugar. Eat foods that you can't get out of a package with a barcode. Eat foods that doesn't have a big, huge ingredient list that you have no idea what even those words are saying. So ideally, we have our own food that we pick from the yard. You go to the farmer's market, you go to the meat market, you go get fresh seafood off the dock. Really getting nutrient dense food is ideal, but that doesn't happen in real life for most of us. So getting that good nutritious food every 3 to 4 hours, well, maybe it might help, but to keep the blood sugar stable, we don't want to snack. We want to balance our blood sugar. We don't want to have high blood sugar and then low blood sugar. We want it steady, but we want to figure out, when are you working out? So if I'm looking at my client's schedule for the day, for the week, and that's going to change because the weekend's going to look different than the weekdays or the days you're not working, and your family schedule, your life schedule, we're going to really dial in your nutrition based on what time of day are you going to work out? What intensity is that workout? How long is that workout? And then, of course, what type is that workout? But I work out at 5:30, 6 in the morning. I'm not going to eat a meal beforehand. I don't want to eat. But if on the weekend I didn't work out until 8, I did have coffee, as I normally do. But I experimented on my long run bike rides. I'll experiment with having some food beforehand. Weekdays, I just have my coffee and some heavy cream in it. So I get my LMNT in my water. Remember the unsweetened doesn't have the stevia in it. So ideally, I think you should have unsweetened in the morning. And that is what I would have before my early morning workout. But do you, as an individual, need something else in there, like maybe half a banana or half of a protein, nutrient-dense bar, as the Laird's bar, Paleo Valley, or Keon? have half a bar, a quarter of the bar. You don't need the whole thing usually, but a small snack might be okay if you're doing a certain kind of workout. If I swim, I don't like to eat a few hours beforehand. So timing your meals is really important and very individualized because we need to look at the time of day you're exercising, when are you sleeping, and then evening time. I don't want you to eat. Ideally, your large meal should be what they do in Europe, middle of the afternoon, a lighter meal at night. So avoiding eating a large meal 3 to 4 hours before will give your body time to digest and absorb the nutrients without causing your body to toss and turn all night. So that's what happens to me. If I eat heavy meal on a weekend, we're out with friends, they eat way later than I do. I had to change, what I choose to eat, just have more of the vegetables and not do a lot of protein because I have troubles getting good sleep when I eat close to bed. And I use my Oura ring to figure that out and learn from my experiences and experiments. So what they say in these articles I'm looking at, avoiding eating too close to bed is, well, I say this too. Your body, when it's sleeping, is supposed to be in detox, rest and recovery, repair mode. When you eat, after you eat, you're in digestion, breakdown, and absorption mode. So if you eat and then go to bed, your body's busy doing digestion. Is it going to get into healing, recovery, repair, and detoxifying while you're sleeping and doing the internal housekeeping service, like the house cleaning fairies come to visit you while you're sleeping and getting that deep sleep? But if you just ate, or another story, if you drank alcohol, which I see people do all the time at night, I don't understand why, because it's really counterproductive to our goal to focus on getting good quality sleep to recover and repair. So getting off topic as usual, but meal timing and matching your fueling with your training is really important, but really looking at your sleep schedule. Another thing about eating too close to bed so you don't impact your sleep is eating a large meal before bed can cause acid reflux due to the horizontal position of the body during sleep. In fact, stomach pain is common in individuals who have large meals close to bedtime. So if I eat, another thing that happens if I eat close to bed, I not just get acid reflux, but my food comes back up. So I get sick, I have to throw up. So that's not good either. And if your workout sucks in the next day, you might realize that you had poor time digesting, getting that nutrition from that food you just ate. So another large meal issue before bed is the high blood sugar can minimize release of growth hormones several times throughout the night. This can affect muscle and whole body recovery. If you're hungry before bed, opt for a small snack as a small amount of fat, protein, carbs. This article says cottage cheese with fruit, but I think cottage cheese dairy is an issue for a lot of people, the cow dairy. So cottage cheese and yogurt doesn't always work for people. So I sometimes, if I feel like I need to eat, I think bone broth is one of the best things. If we could just heat it up and get in, not microwave, on the stove top, get a cup of bone broth. And that, again, going back to your ideal day, if I lift weights like I'm going to in an hour from now, I'm going to go lift weights, and it's not going to be an anaerobic interval workout because it's evening and I don't operate like that at night and I'm tired. So I'm just going to lift heavy weights. But I should have some essential amino acids pre and post workout. And ideally, after that workout, I get a cup of good quality, bona fide provisions type of bone broth in a cup afterwards, because that won't impact my sleep. If I want to have a shake, but I find even if I make a heavy shake, it's just kind of sitting there in me and it doesn't move well in my body. So I have slow digestion and I can't eat a lot. So it depends on you, of course. So sample meal timing exercise schedules in this article. Say you wake up at 6 a.m. That's what I would do. That's sleeping in for me on the weekend. 6:30 is as far as I go for sleeping in. So maybe breakfast, that might be, to me, coffee with some mushroom adaptogens, maybe put some MCT oil and some collagen peptides. But breakfast, what that might be for you, 6:30 to 7 a.m. And then 9 to 10 a.m. you work out Post-workout snack after the workout for women, that's suggested, getting your carb or protein in that window. So maybe that's where I go for my Keon or Laird's or Paleo Valley bar. I don't like to eat a meal right away, so a little tiny snack is all you need. Get the little bit of replenishment in your muscle glycogen stores. And then 12:30 you have a lunch. This is an article. I don't eat lunch till like 2, so it depends on your day. This is not my day. And then they have a snack, so that's too much for me. If you eat lunch, so this is, well, I guess so. So that's 12 to 12:30, you have your lunch. 4 o'clock, so that gives you, I want to make sure you're not eating 4 hours after you eat a meal. 3 to 4 hours, you should be full. And then at 4 o'clock, you have a snack. And then that might be good to have a snack. Then if you're going to work out, again, a second workout 5 to 6 p.m. if you're doing a double, or if you did not do a morning workout. And then you have a lighter dinner, 6:30 to 7. You go to bed at 10. So that's not my schedule because I'm in bed at 7. Not really. I'm getting ready and thinking about getting to bed at 7. I try to be in bed asleep by 8 p.m. during the week, Sunday to Thursday. So bedtime for me is earlier because I'm waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, depending on the day, because I go to the gym at 5:30 a.m. to lift and run before I work at 8 a.m. So if you don't have a work schedule, maybe your schedule is similar to this example. So the bottom line on meal timing, we can talk about. This article says when you eat and what you eat affects your health and exercise performance. So the following advice to help develop a meal plan that works for you is recommended. This is what this article talked about from Pinoy. Weight loss, appetite control. Is that your goal? Eat most of your calories in the morning. Eat breakfast like a king. Breakfast could be at 11 a.m. Lunch like a prince. Dinner like a pauper. So that's 3 meals. A lot of, for athletes, normal people that don't work out like we do, they can probably just have a late breakfast, early lunch, and early dinner and get enough, and then have protein shake or bone broth to get their extra protein. Because we want to hit those protein goals as we keep talking about, and you'll hear Dr. Gabrielle Lyon and many others are on that board. Get your fat and protein. Carb timing is going to switch based on when you're working out. If you're doing a 2-day workout, we're going to add in a little more carbs in between that 2-day workout time. And then if you're working out early in the morning, a hard workout, that's where you place your carbs more the dinner beforehand, the night before. So to keep your blood sugar steady, try to eat 4 hours apart, 3 to 4 hours. Keep your body from having blood sugar spikes. Well, that's more about what you choose to eat. If you move afterwards and how your blood sugar levels are, if you have a lot of spikes, I find that's more related to external and internal hidden stressors that are causing that blood sugar to go up. So goal this article is saying is to keep your blood sugar steady, eating every 4 hours so you don't have hypoglycemia. But we want to make sure if you do have high or low blood sugar, what are you eating, what time you're eating, and what's a movement you're doing before, after. Do you have other signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia or poor blood sugar control? Maybe you need some berberine, maybe you need some apple cider vinegar, maybe you need something as Keon lean that has some other ingredients, cinnamon, and maybe you need some chromium. So, this is why it's so individualized. I can't tell you what to do because I haven't looked at your labs and seen what's red flags you have with your signs and symptoms, and looking at your blood chemistry panel and your hormones and everything else. So carb timing, really eating the real food. But if you're doing endurance exercise versus a high intensity workout versus a strength training workout, we're going to figure out your nutrition a little differently. So eating protein, getting those amino acids with a small number of carbohydrates before and after strength training can improve your performance. It can maximize muscle protein synthesis. It can minimize exercise-induced muscle damage, and it can facilitate short and long-term training adaptations. So your meal timing should be reevaluated. Depends on your lifestyle, depends on your athletic goals. So if you're trying to improve performance, it's going to look a lot different when and how you eat, what you eat, and your workouts versus someone that's doing a weight loss program or longevity program. They might be doing a little more fasting. And then it's going to depend if you're a premenopausal or postmenopausal female athlete. So meal timing for weight loss, appetite control, and athletic performance, it might vary, but we want to make sure we're getting the nutrient-dense foods, getting the supplementation. I find everyone needs some type of digest enzymes before that solid meal. If you don't have H. pylori, you could add in some HCl supplementation, getting some bitters, apple cider vinegar again can help, but timing your meals to help with weight loss, appetite control, stabilize your blood glucose, improve exercise performance and recovery can really make a difference. So they're talking about the hormone fluctuations, your sleep schedules, all of the stress that we have in our life, your workout schedules will change the timing of your meals. We want to reevaluate this meal timing routine as a monthly. I look at with my VIP clients every Sunday, Monday, let's go over what your week looks ahead. Are you traveling? Do you have family things? Do you have events? Do you have a work conference? It's going to change. Do you have a race coming up? It's going to change. So really working on tweaking things and course correcting as we go. So we want to macro estimates are going to vary again depending on your workout load, but placing more of your meals earlier, heavier meals in earlier in the day and then lighter in the evening. So we want to get most of your calories late breakfast, maybe at like 10 a.m. and then say your bigger lunch meal. I don't like saying lunch, but your second meal is say 2 p.m. and then you're having dinner maybe with your family. Maybe that's going to be your bigger meal because you're not like me. That's just Neil and I, and we're having our big meal together at 2. We don't have kids. So your dinner might be your main meal. So we change things up a little bit, but you want to make sure that's not your protein heavy meal and getting good quality carbohydrates and healthy fats. So changing it makes a difference. So proper meal timing, this article also says it keeps you energized throughout the day. The goal is also to help you avoid blood sugar crashes so you stay focused and productive. You regulate your mood swings. I know people that eat the wrong foods for them get a little moody, a little grumpy in the morning, and they don't sleep well. And a lot of it is looking at the elements of the holistic method, but what you're eating and when you're eating it. So getting a good night's sleep is huge for our recovery, brain health, our muscle recovery, and detoxification, and much more. So meal timing for weight loss, appetite control, blood sugar regulation, energy for cardio, endurance training, and increased muscle strength, size, and recovery. So what the research says is all in this article I put on my website, debbiepotts.net, meal timing for busy high performers. It goes on and on and on. And I need to clean it up because I see it's duplicated here somehow. So I want to also talk about what we've talked about many times, the female athlete and what we need to do differently. I've talked about ongoing about fasted or fed exercise. So I recopied some notes from articles I was reviewing in previous podcasts the last couple years. Carb timing, men, 12 to 16 hours for intermittent fasting. Women, 12 hours max. Some can go to 15 hours. 12 hours should be just normal fasting. That's not really intermittent fasting. That should be normal for you. Premenopausal women, where do you put a 24-hour cell autophagy type of OMAD? You would do that in athletes, men too, on your non-exercise day, your recovery day. Postmenopausal women can follow more rules of men because our hormones are not, I'm not in menopause yet, postmenopause, but I know they say women, you can add in 24-hour cell autophagy any time of the month versus premenopausal women, we want to avoid that during luteal phase, day 20 to the end of your cycle. So longer workouts, remember, try some calories. I know some people like Vitargo. I like S-Fuels. I'll use on my harder workouts, I'm going to start using S-Fuels Plus, Race Plus, and their Train on my easier workouts. And then looking at UCAN, some people like that. I used to always use it. It worked for me. Other people have some GI stress called gas that happens. But adding a scoop of electrolytes, a slow bleed of carbohydrates help you. Long fasted workouts, you want to experiment having some HVMN, ketone IQ, some ketone aminos in your water, element T electrolytes, your semi-depleted state, but I think we abuse that too much. So I'll go into this a little bit more. I've talked about this a ton on previous episodes, but fasted exercise or fed exercise, looking at articles from Precision Nutrition, 6 Steps to Fasting Properly is on here. You can read this. Dr. Mindy Pell's 4 Steps for Women Fasting When Not to Tank the Sex Hormones. Her fasting rules for women. What is intermittent fasting variations is 16-8, the alternate day fasting, the 5-2 diet. And then looking at, okay, that's great, but what about us athletes? What if you're working out like I ran this morning 5 miles and then I swam masters at lunch and I'm lifting weights tonight and then I need to do my 15-minute stretching routine? How should I eat? What day of the cycle am I on as a female athlete? That's going to vary too. So we want to take this information we're hearing in the mainstream social media in our low carb community, and then we need to tailor it to you, the individual, and then we need to tailor it to you. If you're a female athlete that's premenopausal, is going to be different than those that are postmenopausal, or those male athletes are different than us female athletes, as we always say. So, what are your questions? What are your thoughts? What are your experiences with fasted exercise, with carb timing? Tell me what you're doing, and sharing that on the podcast would be great. I'm trying to get this information out for you female athletes to know about kisspeptin, proteins, the hormones, what that is, how to test and not guess, get your Dutch test. Really looking at what genetics, more is not better, looking at your hormone panel, blood chemistry panel. I do offer new client special. This kind of beginning level, lower end package is just, let's assess what you're doing. Let's go over what is your plan now and give you the nutritional therapy intake forms that I use, analyzing a 3 days for your exercise and nutrition. Look at your blood chemistry panel. I just added that into that assessment. So if you're interested in that, it's 2 payments and it's $597 total. You can pay it all together. I did a 2 payment option. So lots to go into, but that's just at least a way to get started on how to fuel, train, and perform your best as an endurance athlete, as an aging athlete, and a female athlete. So I'll continue to go into these deep dives on specific topics, but this one on fasted exercise and carb timing is just kind of ongoing. Basically, we want to know how to fuel as athletes. So I will keep reaching out. There's one more article I want to touch on today, so let me just push pause and get back to that. Okay, the rest of this article I want to dive into because these are questions people are always asking. So let's check this out. Strategies for athlete considering intermittent fasting. So this article talks about the benefits of intermittent fasting for athletes. Well, I think you need to know what is the purpose, your why of fasting. And as I said before, 12 hours should be normal. It should be more intuitive fasting, as I like to think of it, as if you're hungry, eat something, right? So you want to listen to your body, ideally use more intuition. If you're trying to go a longer fast, as I said already, you want to put that into a recovery day, not on a 2-day workout type of workout schedule. So what this is saying is that athletes, as myself, we're trying to do more fasting early on. So I used to do all this, back 2005, I started doing more of the low carb and doing more 2009, not eating before workout, just doing the bulletproof coffee for years. And then I started getting into fasting, 2015, somewhere around there. And then I got into OMAD, and it's figuring out when is it beneficial? So optimizing training and competition during the month of Ramadan, researchers looked into the challenges that Muslim athletes had to do to negotiate as they would compete during the month-long fasting period. So the researchers recommended that trainers and managers can help athletes prepare and perform during this period of time, maintaining that they apply more of a holistic approach rather than focusing on the single alteration. So in the end, the writers of the study cited that the need for variability among athletes and their specific needs, biological, psychological, cognitive, behavioral, and their social and living environments. Trainers should work with athletes' different body compositions in a one-on-one capacity. Just as I say, it's so different for everyone because we don't know your lifestyle schedule, your stress levels, your sleep routine. Okay, and the article also says athletes who don't observe Ramadan are beginning to consider fasting techniques for a variety of reasons. In a 2017 article from publication of the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition focused on potential motivations and benefits of intermittent fasting for athletes. The researchers found that intermittent fasting would be immensely helpful for competitors aiming to lose fat, especially endurance athletes competing in sports like track and field, swimming, or cycling. Low carb and intermittent fasting diets can be similarly effective for improving body composition. So, in order to achieve this goal while maintaining peak performance, athletes should consume more protein in their diets. So, something we've talked about a lot. Additional research out of the Journal of the Sports article highlighted the importance of, the focus of weight loss and fat burning qualities of intermittent fasting, but warned that other behavioral changes should be considered. The researchers recommended that athletes who look to lose weight using intermittent fasting diet should be careful about when and how they exercise, train, and compete, and they noted more research into their conclusion was needed. Hello, just as I continue to talk about in every episode when we talk about fasting. For athletes, it depends. And you have to look at your goal of fasting. Am I trying to improve performance or am I trying to lose weight? That's going to change if you're fasted or not. If you're trying to hit heavier weights, faster splits, more power output on your bike, fasted workouts may not be beneficial. So the article continues, what are the side effects of intermittent fasting? So we want to look at some more information of the purpose of the workout. What's the type of workout? So Craig Pickering, he is a former Olympic sprinter and bobsledder who now writes about nutrition in athletics. He wrote that there are marked benefits of intermittent fasting for athletes. Competitors should be very careful as they pursue their diet. He wrote specifically that not eating before high intensity exercise, such as sprints and resistance training, also will likely reduce training performance and in turn hamper competition performance. Pickering also noted that intermittent fasting plan for athletes may hinder or limit their overall protein intake. In the events that athletes compete while nutrient deficient, their performances will suffer. As a result, he has recommended that athletes carefully plan what they eat to maximize performance. Pickering's sentiment is backed up by some recent research. An article from the academic journal Nutrition highlighted the importance of carb consumption for athletes training for competition. In most intermittent fasting plans, dieters cut out carb-rich foods, lowering their caloric consumption on fast days. Carbs are important in athletes' diet since they break down as energy to burn during training and competitive performances. This article continues to say the study examined how a lot of existing research warns against athletes adopting a carb-restricted diet because they need enough energy to compete at the highest level. However, the study also made note how little research is available at this time. In other words, intermittent fasting may still be appropriate for endurance athletes looking to drop weight, but more conclusive evidence is required. So I will add in, yes, if you're trying to lose weight, but if you're trying to improve performance, you may want to work on your nutrient timing. And it doesn't mean eating processed foods. It doesn't mean carb loading. It just meaning strategic carb timing if you're doing more high intensity workout, more speed workouts. Okay, so the researchers have gestured towards the benefits. Others have highly recommended caution. So there's a considerable amount of work to be done to understand if the diet plan is suitable for athletic training. So low carb, high carb, it's all about nutrient timing, depending on the workout you're doing. As we said, the duration, the type, the duration, the intensity, and when did you last eat? So that nutrient timing, that meal timing. We want to look at all of that for you, as well as the elements, what I call, again, the holistic method, your stress levels, your sleep that day, your heart rate variability, your movement throughout the day, your digestion, your gut health, what's going on under the hood, as well as hydration, making sure you have minerals and get that right mineral balance. I like testing upgraded formulas HTMA test to really see what your mineral balance you have in heavy metals as well. We test that. And then also, how is your happiness? If you're not happy, you're probably in that sympathetic state. You don't have that heart rate variability score might be a little lower because you're not as resilient, or your negative attitude, you're depressed, you're anxious. There's other things that are going on that are contributing to our mood swings and changes. So that's a big part of it. Okay, back to the article. It says professionals in athletic and health industries may want to learn more before recommending this to clients. As I keep talking about, it depends. So that was one part of the article from Pinoy shared with us. And then I've talked many times about should female athletes fast before the workout, because it depends if they are premenstrual, premenopausal, that they want to look at what day of their cycle they're on. So we want to look at what your heart rate is, what your heart rate variability is, as well as looking again, what is the goal of the workout, what's your purpose, and going through the nutrient timing and matching your fueling and training together based on a male's workout is going to be different than a female's schedule. And then, as I said 10 times now already today, pre versus postmenopausal. So many of us are doing everything too much, men and women. We're doing too much extended fasting. We're not eating enough of nature's carbs when appropriate for high intensity workout. We females need to choose more progesterone building foods in late luteal phase and have those hormone building foods, as Dr. Mindy Pelz talks about all the time. We want to not do too much hard exercise, but want to have recovery days working in that zone too. So monitoring your heart rate variability and your recovery metrics is important to know what you should do for that workout. Should you tweak what's on your schedule? And then looking at your stress levels in your overall life. So a lot of times we see these lab tests. We've got low thyroid. Low thyroid is usually low or high cortisol. We've got often, if we've got cortisol issues, you often have the rest of that domino effect of too much stress in your life. Chronically, hyperadrenals get to be hypoadrenic. HPA axis function becomes dysfunctional, which leads to thyroid dysfunction, which leads to liver congestion, gut dysfunction, sympathetic dominance, and the whole rest of the list of metabolic chaos signs and symptoms. So we want to look at each person. Yeah, intuitive fueling, training, performing is ideal for the male and female athlete and the aging athlete, but really looking at the female athlete, diving into what is called the kisspeptin hormone. So there's lots of information on that. And then, looking at when you're eating your dinner. As I said, I don't eat dinner weekdays. It's more big lunch. And I have to really make an effort to eat in the evening and not be so set in my ways and being stubborn that I'm doing a 16-hour fast. So good example of what am I doing today, because I'm doing track workout, which I haven't done for a few months, because I don't like working out at nighttime, speed work at 6 p.m., done at 7:30 p.m. But I'm going to go work out Wednesday morning. Not ideal situation here, but my workout will be a little bit of leg weights and core for half an hour, and then spin class at 6:15 a.m. till 7:05, and that's the based on our functional threshold power. So working on power watts on the bike. So what am I going to eat after track, which is way too late for me and close to my bedtime, and I'm going to wake up and work out? This is where a cup of bone broth would be great. Maybe I add some butter in it or MCT oil. Maybe I just have some essential amino acids. And in the morning tomorrow, I will try the HVMN Ketone IQ I found before spin class is pretty amazing for me. And a Laird superfood bar, half a bar, might be just all I need before spin class. So it's really going day by day, because your workouts sometimes are easy. I don't need to eat anything. Then the other days, like tonight, tomorrow morning, they're too hard workouts. So really individualizing it is so important, of the what to eat, when to eat, why, and how. But some other things in this blog page, one of the suggestions Ben Greenfield talked about a few years ago, just summarize a few things here and we'll wrap it up. So Ben said in a seminar that he gave with Dr. Pompa, is individualizing it. If you are working out in the morning, especially female athletes, if you get up in the morning and it's the only time of day to get your harder workout in, because that's ideally best, say 3 to 5 p.m. If you've been fasting 8 to 12 hours, so overnight from dinner to morning when you're going to work out, it's going to depend if you're male or female. If you're a male, he suggested that you'd be able to get through the workout session fasted pretty well, but you want to prioritize your post-workout nutrition, so getting the carb and protein and some healthy fats. If you're a female, even if you have something like a smaller workout snack before the workout, after you've been fasting, say 12 hours, something that doesn't raise your insulin, so non-insulinogenic. So you could do 20 grams of amino acids as Keon. You can do their drink mix. If I don't like stevia, it gives me a headache, so I would do the capsules, which that's a lot of capsules. 7 capsules is 5 grams of amino acids. So Ben said 20 grams of amino acids. I would say maybe let's do 10. I can handle that. Or a little MCT oil. Or I'd rather do something in my coffee, add a little MCT oil and collagen in there. A Laird's creamer has a little bit of coconut sugar if you get, say, the cinnamon creamer and the mushroom adaptogens. So that could be your calories. So I'd rather do that. Only if it's going to be really hard workout, as a hour-long strength training, CrossFit, WOD workout, not doing something easy like the zone 1 workout. So if you're just going for a walk, you don't need to worry about these recommendations. But if it is a hard, high heart rate workout, high power output, plyometrics, CrossFit type of stuff, you could benefit females to add a little something, calories before the workout, protein and fat, or again, a little carbs in there. Stacey Sims would say more carbs. So men might be okay. Make sure you have something afterwards. But check if your performance is crappy. Experiment, but adding on some little bit of fuel in there. It's not a big meal. It's just some calories. Real food, not a crappy source of processed food, right? So we want to eat clean food. So Ben said in the seminar that if you see an increase in testosterone when fasted workouts are done in moderation, not a soul-crushing workout. So your testosterone can improve on the lower intensity workouts, as well as doing strength training workouts. So working on hormone balance is good. So we want to look at not doing too much of anything, that Goldilocks effect, not too much, not too little, just that right amount. So if you are a high-performing individual who's ambitious and driven and trying to do the longest fast, see how long you can go without eating. If you're trying to do all these workouts fasted, you may want to go, am I getting the results I want? Am I even losing weight? Am I getting faster? Am I getting stronger? If not, you need to course correct and experiment. The N=1 experiment, remember. So we want to look at your cortisol levels, your DHA. If they're out of balance, it could be more catabolic state. Testosterone, what's your estrogen, what's your melatonin, hormones, progesterone, insulin, your A1C, leptin. Want to get a full thyroid panel looking at your free T3 and the T4, the reverse T3, looking at thyroid antibodies. We want to look at exercising that right amount of HIIT training, a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week. You're doing the 20-30 second sprints, the short intensity interval training, a part of the HIIT training. You're doing long, slow distance. You're doing that a few times a week if you're training for a race. If not, you can just do 45 minutes of that zone 2 workout, an hour and a half on the weekend. Hormones, premenopausal women, looking at your cycle, postmenopausal, we want to look at some hormone feeding days as well, and always supporting the adrenals. And then looking at carbs, keeping them lower, having them more at nighttime. Maybe they're those sweet potatoes with your steak. Carb cycling, so maybe you're doing the 5-1-1 plan that you're doing keto 5 days, fasting 5 days at 12 to 16 hours. One day you do a 24-hour fast once a week on your resting day. Maybe it's 17 hours, so you're getting more of that cell autophagy. Dimmer switch is 17 hours or longer. But remember, athletes working out, drinking coffee, we're getting some benefits of cell autophagy. And then, really planning, if you're doing an OMAD, you're not doing it when you're exercising a hard workout. So that's it for today. There's other articles I want to dive into. Triathlete.com had an article years ago on race fueling, how to fuel for longer distances, and then how women should train. And then I just got a new article in the mail today, email blog on benefits. What effect does fasted exercise have on metabolism from levelshealth.com? So we'll go into that next time. So let me know your questions and what you're interested in learning more as I go down my different rabbit holes and share my research with you. So head to debbiepotts.net to my blog page to get all the articles I reviewed in the episodes. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at debbiepotts.net. You can help us to continue to grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.